Hey, thank you, Sean. Steve. Record the rest of it. Yeah. That would be just a damn shit. I shipped 2 of them to Arkansas and I shouldn't have. Oh well. The good thing about this product is once we get it set in place, and after cure, 2 hours we'll get to where it's hard enough to where we can go ahead and put a saw cut in it and actually have traffic on it. Let's say after a full day 24-hour cure, we get up to about 15,000 psi, which is very, very durable repair in a lot of environments where tow motors go across it. We've got a lot of heavy forklift traffic. So very good stable product that will carry a lot of load in these short spans. And that's why we use it so much in these factory floors. With this product, we're going to show you in advanced schools how I'll take this product and use it to resurface like a freezer floor. It's resistant to thermal change, or thermal cycles, once it's placed down. Very good for going in and fixing bad delaminated, spalted holes in factory floors, or just to recap the whole floor in any different color that you want. Once this is down, this is really the finished product. Sometimes a lot of people will opt just to paint this either with one of our chemical resistant urethanes, which is the 200 pigmented, or just leave it the way it is. It really is up to the environment in which they want. A lot of people like to keep their factories real clean and detailed. So you can leave it the way it is or cap it with any color that you want with any type of urethane, any pigmented urethane that we carry. It's very compatible. But the main thing I want to emphasize is really the approach on what we're doing, why we're doing it, with this joint in mind, and be sure that this joint stays stable and works the way we want it to. All right, sometimes I'll after it sets up, it's been exactly 2 hours, by the way, I'll come in here and knock these edges down. You can use a small handheld grinder with a carburetor disc on it or a sanding disc. But I just like to knock the edges down when they transfer the load over it. But it's nice and smooth. You don't get many bumps. Do that with a rubbing brick. A lot of times I use a sanding disc. It really works good. We'll just knock it down and get that threaded out. It's right at 2 hours now. Now we've got our joint cut where we want the joint placed. In fact, I cut it full depth with the saw, 4 inches. We cleaned it out, broomed it out, blew it out real good because I want the side walls of that joint nice and clear so that our joint filler will adhere to the sides. Now we're going to put our backing rod in. We've got 1/4 inch backing rod because we've got about a 1/4 inch cut. And I've got this backing rod installer tool. This center wheel is the one that's going to push the backing rod down. And I have measured from this wheel, the side wheel, to the top of this wheel. And the rule of thumb when I put in a semi-rigid joint filler, which is what we're going to put in, is it's twice the width indicates or dictates the total depth. So the total width of this is 1/4 inch, so the total depth is going to be twice that. It's going to be a 1/2 inch deep. So this gauge is at a 1/2 inch, so we'll push this backing rod down exactly a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to start up here and watch how I do it. This gauge is great because it sets the depth of my backing rod at a predetermined depth. And I can't go any deeper with it. It's fitting in fairly snug, which is good, so that I know the backing rod will hold in place when my resin goes in. So on a semi-rigid filler, and remember the reason for this filler is to keep this sharp 90-degree edge from chipping off. It's rigid enough to hold that joint in place, keep it from chipping. At the same time, it allows it to be flexible enough to allow this thing to expand and contract or move under vibration. Whenever I mix any type of 2-component self-leveling joint fillers, which is what this is a 2-component material. This is the panel mixer I use. It's really designed to get on those bottom edges and on the sides real good. Use just a cordless drill to mix it with. So I'm going to mix it up real good, then we're going to pour it in a separate container and then pour it out by hand. The reason why I tape it is because a lot of people make the mistake of trying to do this without taping it, and they'll pour the material over or too much into the joint and runs out on the slab, so it really makes a mess. If you always take the time to tape them out nice, if you do get a little bit high in material in there, you can wipe it off and then pull your tape and everything looks neat and clean. So don't try to do this without taping the joints out, especially when you use a self-leveling caulk. I have a couple different versions of this. The one that I'm going to use the most that I'll show in the advanced schools are going to be the self-leveling joint sealer in the tubes. I've got a specially designed gun to put it out, which is a full thrust or a good solid thrust gun to put these caulks down with, or these joint fillers with. So this particular material is going to be available to everybody, but really on a limited basis. I really have the stuff in the caulking guns that work real well. This particular type of material is semi-rigid. I really prefer it in industrial areas where you have a lot of tow motor or forklift traffic involved. So you have to determine which one you're going to need the most, or which one's going to dictate what, or which job is going to dictate which type of caulk you're going to have to use, or joint filler you're going to have to use. Again, I always keep a couple gallons of lacquer thinner around to clean these tools off with. This stuff usually sets up within an hour. It's fairly quick, but you have to mix it really well when you do it. These cordless drills are great for this. It really doesn't give you too high RPM or too low RPM. It's just about right to mix this stuff properly. I don't like to whip a lot of air into it. I always keep my bit down in the material so it doesn't get a lot of air, and it has to vent that air out. get onto that. Centers of all eaten out.
Right.
Thanks, George.
Right.
We need to see every material that's the work.
Right. I'm helping this planner. Right.
Not a paint it all in one color.
Yeah, I think I did.
Right.
There it is, folks.